Picture this. You're boarding a flight, excited to use your shiny new smartphone, when the crew suddenly announces it's banned because it might burst into flames. Or maybe you're strutting into a bar wearing futuristic glasses, only to realize everyone's glaring at you like you're some kind of spy. Tech history isn't just a parade of genius ideas, it's also packed with legendary disasters. Today, we're counting down the top 5 biggest tech fails in history. The overhyped, overfunded, and overpromised inventions that faceplanted so hard they became unforgettable. Number 5 on our list, the Segway. Back in 2001, the hype was unreal. Investors called it the future of cities. Steve Jobs supposedly said it would be bigger than the PC. The problem? The Segway was bulky, cost about $5,000, and made you look more awkward than cool. Unless you were a mall cop or a tourist, there was no reason to own one. It didn't solve real problems, it just created memes. The Segway is proof that even futuristic tech fails if it doesn't fit into daily life. At number 4, Google Glass. When Google showed it off in 2013, it looked like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Hands-free navigation, instant photos, notifications floating in your vision. The future was here. Except it wasn't. Glass had a clunky design, a ridiculous $1,500 price tag, and massive privacy concerns. People didn't want strangers recording them without consent. The media even coined the term glass holes for early adopters. Google eventually pulled the plug for consumers, though versions live on in workplaces. Still, it's remembered as one of the most hyped, but most awkward gadgets ever. Sliding in at number 3, let's talk about New Coke. Yeah, not a gadget, but one of the greatest product fails of all time. In 1985, Coca-Cola reformulated its flagship drink to taste sweeter and fight off Pepsi's growing popularity. The reaction? Pure chaos. Fans revolted, protests broke out, and angry letters flooded Coca-Cola's headquarters. Within 3 months, the company caved and brought back the original recipe. New Coke's failure is a reminder that changing something beloved, even with good intentions, can backfire spectacularly. Number 2 is the Microsoft Zune. Microsoft wanted a piece of Apple's iPod empire, so they launched Zune in 2006. On paper, it wasn't terrible. It had wireless sharing and some cool features, but it lacked style, timing, and that Apple magic. By the time Zune entered the game, the iPod was already a cultural icon. The Zune never stood a chance. It faded quietly, and today, it's mostly remembered as a punchline. The textbook example of being too late to the party. And finally, number 1, the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. In 2016, Samsung's flagship phone was supposed to dominate the market. Reviews were glowing at launch. But soon after, reports started rolling in of batteries overheating, exploding, and catching fire. Airlines banned it, governments issued warnings, and Samsung had to recall millions of units. The disaster cost billions and scarred the brand. To their credit, Samsung doubled down on safety and eventually bounced back. But the Note 7 lives on as the most explosive tech fail, literally. So what do these colossal missteps teach us? First, hype doesn't guarantee success. Second, timing and execution matter just as much as vision. And third, you can have cutting-edge engineers, flashy marketing, and deep pockets. But if you don't meet customer needs, or worse, put them at risk, failure is almost guaranteed. But here's the silver lining. Fails like these shape the future. They force companies to learn, adapt, and rethink. Without Google Glass, we might not have today's AR experiments. Without the Note 7 disaster, Samsung wouldn't have set the gold standard for battery safety. Sometimes the biggest faceplants end up paving the way for progress. Now it's your turn. Which tech fail do you think deserves a spot on this list? Was it the Apple Newton? 3D TVS? Maybe a gadget you regret buying yourself? Drop it in the comments because laughing at these blunders is fun. But learning from them is priceless. And if you enjoyed this countdown, hit that like button, Subscribe for more stories from the strange and messy world of tech, and stick around. Because trust me, the fails are just as fascinating as the wins.